Welcome back to another episode of Handloader TV. I'm your host, Jeremiah. And in this episode, we're continuing on with our short series on my favorite rifles and loads. And what we have here, the subject of this episode, is a Nosler M21 chambered in .308 Winchester. Now, I've got quite a few different loads that I shoot out of .308 Winchester, but this is definitely one of my favorite. And it'd be hard to pick just one, but this is actually a hunting load, and I guess all the memories associated with this load is what bumps it up to the favorite category and is why it's the subject of this video. One of the wonderful things about .308 Winchester is that it is so versatile. You can shoot subsonic loads through it, reduced loads, you can shoot some really heavyweight bullets, you can shoot some really lightweight bullets super fast, and there's just an extreme variety of different weights that you can choose from because America is in love with 30 cal, and I hope that never changes because I am a big fan of 30 caliber cartridges, and I think they're a lot of fun. And what we have here is a lightweight, high-speed, high-performance projectile. So we're shooting a 130 grain Barnes tip triple shock X bullet at around 3150 feet a second, give or take. So very respectable velocity out of this load. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the rifle itself, and we'll get more into the details of this load after we finish shooting. But the rifle itself, again, Nosler M21. This is a new action. It's actually made by Mac Brothers. It's a phenomenal action, very smooth, very, very clean through that raceway. Just feels really, really nice. We have a 2-position safety. Backwards is safe, forward to fire, very intuitive. We have a cocking indicator on the back of the bolt shroud here, so you know if you're cocked or not. And this is I believe it's a 22-inch barrel, 1 in 10 twist. And at the end of the barrel there, I've got a Nosler SR30 ALTI suppressor in a Coltac suppressor cover wrapped over it. I'm a big fan of those. We're going to shoot 10 rounds on the paper back to back, so it's nice to have the suppressor cover on there to just help reduce the mirage. It doesn't quite eliminate it, but it greatly reduces it. Suppressors tend to build heat a lot faster than the barrels do, and so having a cover on there is really nice, especially when you're working up loads and doing a lot of shooting. So the rifle has a Macmillan Sporter stock. It's pretty straight. It's a pretty nice stock. I do feel like I'm reaching just ever so slightly to get on that trigger. I feel like the distance from the trigger to the wrist is a little bit long for me personally. But other than that, I have no complaints about the rifle or the stock. Just something I noticed in shooting this rifle a lot and spending a lot of time with it in the field under field style shooting conditions. But it's very comfortable off the bench, easy to shoot. It's got an excellent trigger in it. The trigger is a Trigger Tech field trigger set at about 3.5 pounds. Breaks clean and crisp, no over travel or anything like that. And then one thing I did do, because it is a hunting rifle, I like to add an ARCA plate on the center of balance of the rifle, so that way I can go ahead and chuck this thing up in my tripod that I use for glassing. Living in Arizona, we do a lot of glassing. It's a lot of spot and stock stuff, and that's my preferred method of hunting. So it's nice to be able to pull out my binos, drop in a rifle, and if I need to, I can take a shot off my tripod quickly and with relative ease. The overall weight for this rifle with the optic and added ARCA rail is 7 pounds, 14 ounces, so it's very comfortable, easy to carry, just under that 8-pound mark. It also helps soak up the recoil a little bit. The bolt is nitrided, runs very slick through there. We have a very large M16 style extractor, which I'm a big fan of, personally speaking. Very reliable, works very well, as you'll see in a little bit when we get to shooting this rifle. And let's go ahead and, without further delay, let's put some rounds on the paper. Enough talk, let's shoot. And then we'll close out the video with a little bit more talking and some of my personal experience with this rifle. All right, so we got the rifle benched in. I've got the Kestrel 5700 here, checking for wind. From about the 5 o'clock position, we've got a wind speed of about 2 to 5 miles an hour at most, so very good there. Temperature is 79 degrees Fahrenheit, humidity is 26%. Pressure when adjusted for altitude, which is 5,000 feet, is 30.27. So a very nice day for shooting. We'll see what kind of group we can get with this particular rifle and load combination. Now it's not the most accurate load that I've shot out of this rifle, but it's an excellent hunting load. So, and after we put it to the test, we'll go ahead and show you the load data on the screen and all that stuff. So fear not, there will be all the relevant information as soon as we finish putting 10 rounds on the target. Get my parallax set here, right where it needs to be. Looks good. Let's shoot a group. All right. Normally I'd let the barrel cool a little bit because it's a rather thin sporter profile barrel and it's pretty hot right now. But the weather conditions are so nice and the wind tends to pick up in the afternoon, so I want to take full advantage of good weather conditions, and we'll keep shooting here. If the group opens up a little bit, it's probably because of barrel heat. But right now I don't have too much mirage, so we'll see what we can do here. Looks like she's starting a group now. Yeah, first round kind of was a little bit of a flyer. It was a cold bore clean barrel, so you be the judge on that, or maybe it was suppressor cold bore pop or something like that. I am walking my cover off a little bit there, but the suppressor is still nice and tight. I can't turn it, so you be the judge on what happened on that first shot. Felt like a good shot to me, but looks like it assembled a pretty dang good little group there. Regardless, we'll go ahead and head down range, measure it, and review the load data and the target. So as you can see, this rifle is pretty well zeroed, and I think I previously mentioned, but we did do a full load development with this rifle, so if you want more information on other loads for this rifle or 308 Winchester, you can check out that video on our channel, Handloader TV, and check out that video. But let's go ahead and dive into the load and the target here. Taking a look at the load first, this is using Hodgdon H4895 powder, a 48 grain charge with 130 grain Barnes Tip Triple Shock X bullet, Peterson cases, Federal 210M primers, and our overall loaded length is 2.900 inches. So we got a really good standard deviation of just 8, an extreme spread of 28, and an average velocity of 31-34. So very, very good there. And what I like about this load, especially from a hunting perspective, is it's more than accurate enough. Even with the flyer in there, we got a group size of 1.42 inches, which isn't terrible. And if you remove that flyer, that first cold bore, clean bore shot, it measures out to 0.87 inches. So not bad. The mean radius with the flyer is 0.37 inches. Personally, I like to keep those in there, especially on sample sizes smaller than 50 rounds or 30 rounds even. So I'm pretty happy with those results, and the primary purpose of this load is hunting, and that's exactly what this load was developed for. I can't really take credit for it. My wife actually worked up this load in this rifle, and you can tell it's a favorite rifle when the rifle has a name. So she's dubbed this rifle Scarecrow. Long story, but it has to do with the Lost in Space series on Netflix. We watched that, enjoyed it, and that's how this rifle got its name, because it's kind of got a spacey looking stock. And she also took this rifle on an Arizona mule deer hunt, killed a really good buck up north of us, and used this exact load to do it. That bullet exited both shoulders, both lungs, killing that deer instantly. It was really neat. I got to watch the whole thing through binoculars. The terminal performance was outstanding. So it was great to see the terminal performance of the bullet there. That 130 grain tipped triple shock X bullet did phenomenal. It was a 175 yard shot that she made, and just punched through both lungs and both shoulders, exited out the other side. Really good blood on the other side. Very, very good performance. And that's why this is one of my favorite loads. And the accuracy, I will admit, it could be better, especially if you include that flyer in there. It could be better. But from a hunting perspective, she's not planning on shooting past 400 yards. And even if that opens up to, 6 inches at 400 yards, it's still more than adequate for hunting purposes. And the terminal performance makes up for that, in my humble opinion, after seeing the effects on game. So I think we have a couple of photos of that deer and that hunt, so this rifle included in there. We'll throw those up so you can take a gander at that. But really good rifle, really good performance. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's nice and light to carry in the field, very pleasant. That bolt is it is so slick. And shooting it suppressed, it gets gummed up real quick, but this DLC coating does a really, really good job of reducing the friction there. And it just runs through that raceway like butter. So there you have it. There's one of many of my favorite loads in the 308 Winchester. You can duplicate it, give it a try for yourself, and see what it's capable of in your own rifle. On that note, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. We do greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button along with the bell icon so you're notified when we post our next video. Really helps us out, spread this information to other people, and that's what we're all about at the end of the day, is providing good, accurate, and reliable information so you guys can duplicate the results and enhance your shooting performance and have a good and enjoyable time doing it. And who knows, you just might come up with your own favorite rifle and load. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.